fellas, how in the hell are we doing here today? In case you can't already tell, your boy just woke up, but now I am finally excited to share with you all my top 5 games of 2024. And then tomorrow, we'll go over the top 5 worst games of 2024. I don't want to take up too much of your time though. Let's keep this video short. Just want to let you know what's going on. Let's get straight into it, shall we? Kicking off the list here, our top 5 best game of 2024 has to be EA College Football 25. Now this was an insane return to form for the cult classic NCAA titles. These games were put on ice for a whole decade and finally returned to the masses in glorious fashion. College Football 25 is a brand new football simulator game developed by the infamous EA Studios, who also works on Madden, FIFA, and NHL. Now some of you might be saying, this is just college Madden. But me personally, I don't even play Madden, so this was all brand new for your boy. As a fan of college football, this game had me immersed to the absolute max, and I had a ton of fun getting to play the game of football as the only sports team I love. I tried to dabble in a little bit of everything, but I'm not gonna lie, most of my time playing was spent in head-to-head, create-a-player, and dynasty mode. The create-a-player story mode was immersive and engaging. I really enjoyed actually playing through these college schedules myself and feeling the pressure of winning my conference bowl game or making the playoffs. The dynasty mode was also really good at this because you could lose your coaching job if your team didn't perform, but for this mode it wasn't necessarily the games that were the best part for me. I really liked the whole recruiting aspect they had of trying to get big talent to come to your school, or finding a sleeper 3-star recruit that's gonna pop off and be insane in college. And finally, the head-to-head was an absolute battleground for me and BMO for a solid few weeks. We would easily spend hours in there running games with all sorts of different teams, and it was actually really cool trying out a bunch of different playbooks I hadn't used or seeing college stadiums in the game I had never seen before. Overall, this game was a great time and I really enjoyed playing it. It's not something I would grind out consistently 24/7, but whenever I'm missing college football, especially in the off season, it'll be great to go back and get my quick fix before the season starts back up. Next at number 4, we have Helldivers 2. Now I know it's been a while since this bad boy came out, but this game completely took over the world at one point. Everybody and they mama was on here trying to rid the planet of evil robots and aliens. For those of you who don't know, Helldivers 2 is a co-op third-person shooter developed by Arrowhead Game Studios. And this game was easily one of the best co-op PvE gaming experiences we've seen in a long time. In this game, you play as a Helldiver who's sent on various missions to repel evil forces from the galaxy. There's even an interactive map that shows you the Helldiver's progress against the aliens, and it includes the progress of the entire game's player count, which creates a really unique sense of community and cooperation. The actual gameplay itself was actually really engaging and intense too. All the weapons felt good, the abilities felt powerful and fun to use, and the onslaught of enemies was insane. They really did a good job at creating a chaotic war atmosphere. And I've seen people so fully 100% invested in role-playing a soldier with his band of brothers going to repel evildoers. I mean, this game has people completely hooked for a while. I played Helldivers 2 quite a bit when it first came out, but I never got a squad or anything going, so the hype kind of died down a little quick for me. But I will say though, in the moment, at the time, even just playing solo, that game was a lot of fun. Next at our top number 3 best game of 2024, we have Windblown. This was actually one of our most recent reviews here on the channel, and all I can really say is Windblown is a phenomenal roguelike and probably one of the best I've ever played. Windblown is an action roguelike developed by Motion Twin, who is most notable for creating Dead Cells. In case you don't know what a roguelike is, these games are most notable for procedurally generated levels, enemies, weapons, and upgrades. So no 2 runs are ever the same play experience. The moment you start a run, this game is non-stop, lightning fast action the entire way through. And all the tools and abilities you have at your disposal are insanely fun to use. With the amount of stuff they have in this game too, there's also no limit to the amount of classes you're able to come up. On top of the fluid and engaging combat, you can also play this game with up to 3 other friends, which is fantastic for a PvE experience like this. I know I said Helldivers was one of the best PvE games we'd seen in a long time, but that's because Windblown is the best for sure. I mean, I swear, people are sleeping on these roguelikes. It honestly just comes down to what kind of game you prefer more. I mean, they're both fantastic. I just liked the gameplay of Windblown a little bit more, but man, I'm telling you, you guys gotta stop sleeping on these
small indie studios, and small roguelike games, because they are great. Next at our top number 2 best game of 2024, we have Black Myth: Wukong. We played quite a few Souls-likes this year, but Black Myth: Wukong easily takes the cake as best of the year.
This game actually got unbelievably shamed and disrespected at this year's Game Awards. I don't know how Astrobot won, but we just won't talk about that.
This game spent quite some time in development, but all that work fully paid off and is present in every aspect of the game. The story is a new take on a traditional Chinese novel, Journey to the West, and it was about as cinematic as you can get. The game also looks and sounds fantastic. I especially enjoyed at the end of each chapter, they had these little like scenes done in various different art styles, which they did not have to do at all. But it just goes to show the level of detail and time put into this project. Most importantly, above all that, the gameplay is extremely fun. I've played easy Souls-likes before, but this was different. This still had some difficulty to it, but I've never felt this overpowered in a Souls-like before. By the time you reach the end of the game, you have so many tools at your disposal that the only thing that can really stop you is yourself. Even though you're incredibly OP for most of this game, they still have ways of keeping you humble and on your toes, but long story short, I'll just finish this with, the game's fantastic. Alright fellas, we have made it to our top number 1 best game of 2024. If you've been around the channel for a while, then this is probably no surprise by now, but our top number 1 best game of 2024 title goes to none other than Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals is a third-person hero shooter that was developed by NetEase Game Studios, and it had me hooked ever since I first started playing. This game has actually been around for quite a while with closed beta tests, but it's finally here with its full release, and I couldn't be happier. This game is played as a 6v6 between various characters from the Marvel Universe in objective-based game modes. I'm sure everybody's heard the comparison, this is Overwatch with Marvel characters, but there are things they tried to add to this game to stand apart, like destructive maps, team up abilities, bigger teams, and other different unique character abilities, just to name a few. Now I'm not saying they're like totally dissimilar, but if we were comparing them both, I would say I enjoyed playing Rivals a lot more. Marvel Rivals and Black Myth: Wukong honestly both deserve the number 1 spot. They're two very different games in what they set out to accomplish, but they're both spectacular games in their own respective fields. The only reason Marvel Rivals gets the edge in my mind is because I see myself playing Rivals a lot more than Black Myth: Wukong. There is also not a single bone in my body that's not competitive, and I haven't had a ranked game that I was incredibly invested in a long time. Your boy used to be really into some Apex Legends, but that urge had slowly started to fade away. Ever since then, I've been straight fiending for a new multiplayer to grind, and I finally found it. I will probably be playing this game for the next 5 years or until I go pro, or we'll just see what happens. We'll just see where things go. Alrighty folks, and with that being said, I think that's gonna about do it here for our review today. Sorry if this all seemed like super brief. I wasn't trying to go like crazy in depth giving you a whole review synopsis for each one, but if you do want to see reviews on all of these, I'll post them in the description below so you can kind of get a longer idea of what I'm thinking or whatever. Also, if there's any changes or additions that you would have made to this, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I would love to hear what you thought. I've already said it a million other times, but 2024 was an incredible year for gaming. So I wouldn't be surprised if everybody had their own lists that's completely different. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Your boy would really appreciate it. And it's totally free. You ain't gotta pay a dime. But alright, that's enough of that, folks. Take it easy. Have a good day or night or whatever it is for you. This has been Lunar, and welcome to Bound.